When I order, you become guru. He becomes regular guru. That's all. The argument I've been making regarding this last half of the conversation on this topic has been that while Tamal and Satsvarup intended to be asking about the Ritviks, that after Srila Prabhupada had said, on my order be actual guru, Srila Prabhupada was no longer focused on the Ritviks or the Ritvik system. Rather, he was now only focused on, and the only answering their questions based on and regarding those who he will have given his order to. When he said that the disciples would be his disciples, he was referring not to the Ritviks or not to himself, but he was referring to those who he will have given his order to. They will be his disciples. Unfortunately, these two GBC men, Tamal, Krishna and Maharaj and Satsvarup Goswami, were confused and mistakenly thought he was still speaking about the Ritviks. They thought that they understood everything clearly, but clearly they didn't register that Srila Prabhupada had told them that the Ritvik system was not settled up yet as to how that was to work. For after he has departed, it was clear that they didn't realize that Srila Prabhupada would only answer that question later on, after it was settled. They weren't clear because they didn't register that before one becomes an actual guru, that Srila Prabhupada's order must be given first. Rather, they mistakenly thought it was on his disappearance and not on his order. They had held this meeting for the purpose of learning his final and settled up instructions regarding the initiations in ISKCON after he departs. And even though Srila Prabhupada had told them that part was not settled yet, these men mistakenly thought that he had been giving his final and settled up answer in this last part of the conversation. And so Satsvarup started to go on to the next topic. Srila Prabhupada interrupts him in order to make one last statement, in order to make it unmistakably and abundantly clear who Srila Prabhupada has now been referring to.
Then we have a question.
When I order you become guru, he becomes regular guru. That's all. He becomes disciple of my disciple. That's it.
Srila Prabhupada now spells it out to them to make it absolutely clear who he has been referring to in this last part of the conversation, since he made the statement, on my order be actual guru. Who will give the initiation and take their own disciples? Who will become the actual guru? How will they become actual guru? To make it crystal clear who Srila Prabhupada has been speaking about, he says,
when I order you become guru, he becomes regular guru. That's all. He becomes disciple of my disciple.
What he did not say was, when I select you to become an officiating Ritvik representative, then on my disappearance you will become regular guru. No, that is not at all what Srila Prabhupada was saying. He didn't want to clarify that because that is not what he was saying. What he clarified is what he was saying in regards to being an actual guru. To be an actual guru and take your own disciples, that requires Srila Prabhupada's direct order. On my order, but by my order, when I order, he becomes regular guru. That's all. It is not on my recommendation to become Ritvik, on my disappearance, that he will become regular guru. On his order, but by his order, when he orders. These men were totally confused and misunderstood practically everything Srila Prabhupada was saying. And in the next timeline, I will provide hard documented proof just how confused and wrong they were. I have given my own personal view on when the next Acharya comes. I include that in an ancillary note called The Next Acharya Will Not Be the Acharya for ISKCON.